Welcome to another video. In today's one I will show you how to make amazing highlights in your composites. I will try to keep this as clear as possible, so roll the intro. This is the image that we will work on. I just separated the subject from the background using the select subject option. You can do it however you want. First of all, to create highlights, we'll be using hue and saturation adjustment layers. You first need to click this button and it will open up a lot of options, but we're looking for hue and saturation as I said. Because we only want the highlights to be on the subject, we need to clip this adjustment layer to our subject layer. You can do it by holding Alt and clicking between them, or just checking this little icon right here. Furthermore, in the Hue and Saturation Properties tab, you need to check this box where it says Colorize, and after that you have to match the color with the highlights. Remember that the highlights on the subject can never be brighter than the light source itself, so adjust the saturation and lightness accordingly. After you have done that, you will need to double click on the Hue and Saturation layer and it will open up this panel right here called Layer Style. Here we're only interested in the Blend Div section. Because there are no highlights in the dark areas, we'll need to remove them by changing the underlying layer slider from left to right. If we just change it like this, it won't look good, the edges will be hard. To fix that, we will hold the Alt button or Option on Mac and click this arrow right here to separate it. This way the transition between light and dark areas will be smoother. The next step is inverting the layer mask by pressing Ctrl and I. This way the mask is black and everything is hidden. Remember the concept of layer mask. Black hides and white shows. Simple as that. After this, you will select the brush tool. You can do it by just pressing B on your keyboard. Make sure the opacity and flow are at 100%. Choose the soft round brush and make sure you choose the white color and also select the layer mask you're working on. Start by slowly applying the highlights. You can apply a bit more and then press X to change the color to black and hide all the parts you don't need. This way your highlights will be smoother and more subtle. I will speed up the process because it can take a lot of time. This is the finished result. For now, after this I will repeat the same process for the orange highlights on the right hand side. To make the subject pop even more, we can add another hue and saturation layer or just copy the existing one and changing the layer mask to be completely black again. This time I will increase the brightness and saturation a bit more. I will apply the highlights again, but this time only on the edge of the subject, and please don't overdo this step. As the final touch, you can add light reflecting from the subject for a cool effect, but this step is optional. To do this, you will need to create a new layer and just fill it with the color of the highlight. Change the blending mode to hard light and decrease the opacity so it looks something like this. Again, add layer mask and invert it by pressing Ctrl and I on your keyboard. Decrease the flow and start painting around the subject to create an effect like this. It's really subtle, but it adds a lot to the final image. I hope this tutorial was helpful. The best thing you can do is to practice over and over again by using this method, and I'm sure you'll master it in no time. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.